This is a tutorial on how to complete the Unit 3 Critical Response Essay Planner. For this writing assignment, you are required to complete the pre-writing activity, which is a planner. To locate the document, go to Unit 3, Critical Response Essay, and then you'll see the Critical Response Essay Planner. You'll click on that link, and then you will have to download the document. This will open it up in Word. You may have to enable editing, and now you can type on the document. Alternatively, if you would like to use Google Docs, you may do that. Just include the same information. So the planner is organized according to the way that your essay will be organized. So you will have section 1 is your introductory paragraph, and then it has spaces for your first supporting paragraph, your second supporting paragraph, if necessary, your third supporting paragraph. You could add a fourth if you need to, and then finally your concluding paragraph. The planner also has space for you to record the information from the supplementary source that you found for this assignment. So, to fill out the planner, you'll simply go through each required item. Here, you'll put the title of your article that was assigned. In this case, it was by experiences, not things. You'll put down the author, the author's name, the publication date, the source, which is where it was published, the magazine, which is clearly listed on the article. And then you will write down in your own words what you believe is the author's overall point or claim. Please do not copy from the article for this. Use your own critical thinking skills and your own wording to describe what you think the author's overall point is. You will also list here what you believe the author's purpose is. Why did the author write this article? And please include either persuade, inform, or entertain in your description. You will also write down the intended audience. Who do you think the author was writing for? And please be fairly specific. Don't say everyone. Think about who he was targeting. Then in about 2 to 4 sentences, here on the planner, you can just list the points. You are going to give a brief summary or overview of the article. These would be the key points that the author made. Do not copy from the article for this section. Use your own words. And again, be fair and objective. Do not insert your opinion or your commentary. This is strictly what was in the article. And then this actually will be the last sentence in your introduction, and that is your overall reaction to the article. This is similar to what you did in the summary response essay, where you will weigh in on the issue. Probably you'll either be agreeing with the author, disagreeing, or a combination, but you want to be specific. For example, you could say, I agree that experiences are very valuable, but for some people, material possessions are more important. So this is a combination of agree and disagree. There is also space here for you to record information on the author's worldview, biases, and assumptions, and comparing them with your own. If you're not sure about what these terms mean, please go to chapters 4 and 5 in the textbook and review. What I want to see in the essay is that you demonstrate a clear understanding of these terms and that you're able to describe the author's worldview, bias, and assumptions accurately. You do not need to include this in your introduction. You may, but please keep in mind that the thesis is the last sentence in your introduction. These terms could also be discussed anywhere in the essay where it would be appropriate. All right, based on your thesis, you will then create your supporting paragraphs. So if this is my thesis, my first point would probably show that experiences are very valuable. If my thesis were that I agree that experiences are more important than material possessions, then probably my supporting paragraphs will show 2 or 3 reasons why that is the case. In this case, because I have sort of a pro-con setup, I'll probably have 2 body paragraphs, one for the value of experiences and one for the reason people may focus more on possessions. So please clearly state your topic sentence for each supporting paragraph. Please include information from the article. This may be quoted, although I would caution you to do that very sparingly. If you do quote, please include the paragraph number from the article where you got that specific information. If you use your own wording, you do not need to include the paragraph number. And you do not need to include exactly 3 details. You must include at least 1. Use your judgment on how many you would like to use for that body paragraph. Of course, you also want to bring your own ideas to the discussion. Again, I don't know if you need 3. The number is up to you, but at least 1, hopefully more than 1 idea of your own. Then on the planner, there is space here if this is the spot where you want to use your supplementary source. Please note that you can use that supplementary source anywhere in the essay. If you looked up author information, you would probably use that information up here in the introduction. So you do not need to put information in every paragraph from your supplementary source. I just need to see somewhere in your essay that you did use information. Again, you may paraphrase it, or you may directly quote using a paragraph number. Either way, you will carefully need to attribute that information to that source. All right, you would do the same for all other body paragraphs. Clearly put the overall point stated here. And then provide information both from the article and from your own ideas. Again, the 3 numbers are a guide, not mandatory. Supplementary source, again, maybe in some other spot. If you have 4 supporting paragraphs, you will have to add to the planner. If you have only 2, you can delete the 3rd supporting point. And then on your conclusion, this will be a paragraph here on your planner. Just give an idea of what you plan to say in your conclusion. And then finally, fill out the additional source information, the title of the article or the title of the web page, the author. If there is none, you can say none listed. Although if it's an author's website, the author is the author. So you can often figure that out on a web page. And the date, if you do not have a date, if it's a web page and there is no date, use N period D period to indicate no date. The source is either the website, or it could be a magazine if you got it from an article in from EBSCOhost. Here it says what information will you use from this source. You've already listed it up here somewhere in your planner, so this is just a description. You might say use to show authors' biases or something like that. And how will you use this? And you would say in the introduction or wherever you might use it. So you do not need to repeat the exact information you're going to use, just sort of describe how you're going to use that information. All right, so you're going to save your document and submit it in D2L. This is graded. It is worth 50 points. If you did transfer this into a Google Doc, remember that you'll have to convert it before you can submit it in D2L to either a DocX, an RTF, or a PDF. Hopefully this will help you as you complete this assignment.